Hey, everybody. Welcome to another Insurtech podcast with Cory Schmidt and Tim Robinson. Great to connect. It's been a little while. Cory, I think you've been busy.
We've been pretty busy with getting ready for AEP. It's the final weeks leading up.
Yeah, it's amazing. It every year, right? It happens every year, and it's crazy how it seems like it comes up faster and faster each cycle. And mind you, this is only my second one, right? Since I've been in the business, so I'm not going to go into how many it's been for you. So I don't want to do anything about forecasting your age or sharing your age. But you've been through a few of these, right?
Been through a few, yes, indeed. So, and it's never a dull moment either. So, and I think we have some guests with us today who can probably actually sympathize, maybe even more so than us.
Yeah. I think here we are trying to say, oh man, this is happening. This is awful. Well, the two people we have here are right in the throes of it, and I'm going to guess preparing for pretty crazy season. So Andrew and Jason, great to have you guys here.
Great to be here. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Cory.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, Cory. We appreciate you guys having us on.
So would you guys mind just taking a quick moment, introduce yourselves to the listeners?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Jason Schmittgens. I'm a director of strategic accounts with ConnectureDRX. So I've worked with the company and in the industry for coming up on 7 years now, based in Chicago, Illinois. And, I work with many of our health plan partners, our FMO and agency partners, and now, like we'll be talking about today, the independent agents out there as well. So kind of see it all from a bunch of different angles.
Yep, and I'm Andrew Tutaj, VP of Strategy. Been with Connecture for a little over 11 years, served in a variety of different capacities. And oddly enough, one of my first few years here, we decided to implement Agency Block for a legacy book of business that we were trying to manage that in Excel spreadsheets.
I love it. Andrew, you're in Illinois as well. Am I remembering that right? Or in Wisconsin?
A little bit north. So yeah, we're based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee. All right. We've got the Midwest covered here, I guess. We've got Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa. I guess we'll throw Iowa in there, and Michigan. So excited for the podcast today. Really appreciate you guys carving out the time to spend with Cory and myself. Talk about a pretty exciting announcement. Both organizations, both product sets, widely recognized in the industry, play a critical role in helping our customers be successful, drive growth in their business, be more profitable, and really at the heart of it, be able to have better conversations with their end customers and really beneficiaries, I guess we should call them. But really helping to find the right products for beneficiaries. So again, great to have you guys here. And also announcing, from what I understand, Connecture recently launched a new product, PC Edge for agents. I was hoping you guys could explain what problem, what opportunity is this product designed to solve, and who's your ideal customer? What's the ideal profile?
Yeah, absolutely. So we did just launch, right, I guess at the beginning of this month, the PlanCompare Edge for agents platform. So it's truly designed for the independent brokers out there. There's, like I mentioned before, I work with a lot of our FMOs and health plans. Agents oftentimes have access to many different platforms to write the various Medicare products that they're certified and licensed to sell. And I guess to take it a step back, going back about 4 years ago, we rolled out our first out-of-the-box solution called PlanCompare Edge, which was designed for agencies, and we did a lot of that in partnership with Agency Block with our integration that we have, right? So that was for agencies that may have had multiple upline FMOs and had access to various platforms, but not all of their carriers that they're certified and licensed to sell in one place. So that's kind of the genesis for the PlanCompare Edge for agent platform, right? Is there's a lot of agents out there that have access to all these different platforms, or may even have direct contracts with carriers themselves. And I've never historically had one place to manage their book of business, run all their quotes, do all of their enrollments all on one platform. So that's kind of the ideal user, is that independent agent that wants to be able to have everything in one place and also leverage their own integrations if they're an agency block customer, like many are today as well.
That's awesome. I think one of the things Andrew had shared during one of our many visits over the last few years is like how many platforms that the highest producing agents were logging into. And I don't know if you remember this stat offhand, Andrew, I'm putting you on the spot, but it like kind of blew my mind how many different solutions they were logging into, just Connecture solutions. That doesn't even include other platforms that they were using. I don't know if you remember the stat that you guys found when you pulled that data.
Yeah, absolutely. I've shared this many times internally to help kind of create the motivation for us to push forward with PC Edge for agents. But it's 2 platforms on average for an agent, and that's across, we're talking across probably over 20,000 agents that are using 2 platforms. And that gets into Cory's point, that's just visibility to the platforms or the customers that we have direct relationships with. So if they have if they're working with another platform that maybe is using our competitor solution, we wouldn't have visibility to that. And then what was even more kind of stark was that it goes for the highest producers. There were certain scenarios where it was upwards of 10 platforms they were putting their profiles into, completing an enrollment. So it's definitely something that, as Jason indicated earlier, it's something that we recognize as a challenge, and we're just trying to figure out ways of how we can make that easier for the agent at the end of the day.
Yeah, it makes complete sense. Was that, I know, Andrew, we've talked about this over the years, and obviously Agency Block has a lot of retail agencies as customers, and, we really try to lean in and provide the solutions that will make their lives better. What changed in terms of how you guys viewed the market and the solutions that you wanted to bring to market that really made you push this to the top of your priority list for 2024? I think it was maybe here earlier this spring you had reached out and said, "Hey, we're gonna provide a solution for the retail agents that they can subscribe to directly." Like, was there anything in particular that made that kind of rise to the level of priority that you guys saw the need to put your team on this and deliver on it in 2024?
Yeah, really great question. So we've been evaluating this for some time. We've been looking at the data. We've been looking even at, the anecdotal, stories we hear from, our, even agents of, Agency Block. I mean, if I've been at Agency Block, user group meetup or wherever it is, it's how many times have we heard hey, I'm using Upline so-and-so. How do I connect my tenant solution of Agency Block to that? So kind of the combination of that, just the kind of the carrier distribution, connectivity to CRM, we've been evaluating and have identified this as an industry challenge for some time. And what really created the motivation this year was, we saw the need for us to push faster than we might have held out a year had we not, just with some of the CMS regulations and rules that were likely to come down. And even I know that there's a little bit of a stay here with some of the announcements that were made in April. We just think this is the right solution overall. Like it was a motivator for us to accelerate it into 2024, but it wasn't this is the only reason we're making the decision.
That makes sense. Curious how the IMO FMO market has responded to this, Andrew. I know obviously you guys are supportive of all levels of the hierarchy. I think this actually, in my mind, solidifies that you're trying to solve for challenges at every level of the hierarchy. But any particular IMO FMO feedback that that you guys have taken as a result of launching this?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, being quite candid, I mean, there's been a range of reactions. I would say in the whole, probably I would say neutral to slightly favorable. But I think the reason why we've had that type of reaction is that we've had long-standing relationships with a lot of these FMOs where, our take in the industry, and our take as a technology provider is we don't want to get involved with anything beyond just being a technology provider. We're not trying to offer any of the services, get involved with any sort of commission payment or receive some sort of variable type fee from the carriers for this platform. So I think that helps alleviate a lot of the concerns. And then I think the other thing too, it's like we've had other solutions out there in the past, like PC Edge for agencies that we deployed, as Jason indicated, 4 years ago. And so they've had downlines that have licensed our solution in various ways in the past. So I think this was just another iteration of that. And this just helps us kind of close off. And, now we have a solution for an agent, we have a solution for a small agency, and we have a solution for a large agency.
Yeah. And if I could just add to that, the biggest thing with the PlanCompare Edge for agent platform is it's upline agnostic. So these agents that are signing up are able to maintain their trusted relationships with their FMOs for all the other great services that they offer them too. It's just the enrollment platform, they'll have the ability to sign up directly with us now and maintain their contracts where they are.
Yeah, I think that's a key piece here is giving the ultimate flexibility, right, to the agents. And to some of the earlier points, listening to the feedback from these agents and how they can be, again, more effective, how they think about growing their business, but not discounting by any means the reliance on the IMO relationships. It's just another way for them to get a little more flexibility so that they can grow their business, which is good for everybody, right? If they're able to scale their business and have more conversations, write more policies, that's great for the whole hierarchy. And Andrew, you had mentioned something earlier, and Cory and I have covered off on this topic a few times on this podcast and had a few guests on, but it's been an interesting year when you think about CMS and some of the disruption that we've seen, or I should say uncertainty, really. There was maybe 2-3 months ago, huge amount of conversation, or a lot of conversations around the impact of the compensation models. I don't know. I don't remember. That was how many page document? 1,300? Anyway, a lot of pages to sift through. Too many. And, the reality is it looks like they've walked back a bit from those compensation changes. After there were some suits brought in the legal system, in the court system, and we'll see what that looks like going forward in future enrollment periods. But for now, that's largely been taken off the table, and we've certainly have seen the temperature and the type of conversations that we're having change, especially as we're getting closer to the enrollment season and everybody's focused, right, from all aspects of the industry, and being able to have a great enrollment season and being as effective as possible. Have there been any other notable impacts or behavior changes that still occurred despite the limited regulatory impact from your guys' perspective?
Yeah, so I think a couple of fronts. I'll maybe address both front, maybe at a larger IMO kind of relationship front, and then I'll also just address the impact on our strategy going down market. I'd say from an IMO perspective, I'll maybe even let Jason follow up on this too, is that I think it's helpful that the way that it kind of the way that it was, some interpretations that were out there in early April when they released that document, there was a wide range of expectations and interpretations, and on the most detrimental end of the IMO, it could have been very, very challenging from a compensation and kind of business model standpoint. So I think for Connecture and those IMOs and those relationships, we've had it for a long time. We feel good that it wasn't as detrimental. Like it's really unstuck a lot of things in terms of just how people are viewing the market and what they're going to be doing from their tech strategy for 2024 to 2025. But I'll let Jason maybe kind of answer that, and then I'll come back and maybe tackle the direct to agent and its impact on that as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was, like you said, different interpretations, ranging a broad spectrum there. Obviously, it's all kind of in a stay now, but I think that folks are feeling good and confident that they'll be able to continue to be compensated going forward, even at the time with the initial interpretation, many partners still felt that they were kind of left out of the I guess out of the rule as a whole. So yeah, I think you pretty much covered it there, Andrew.
Yeah, I think the other thing that became kind of apparent, I think why you've seen a little bit of pullback from what CMS had originally proposed, was that there's just a lot that an FMO does that we don't do as a technology partner, that the services they provide. So I think there was a little bit of education that's happened, or a lot of education that's happened even in the last 90 days, if not 180 days. So I guess we're really happy to see that our FMOs can continue to operate and be financially viable based on what's been pulled back. But yeah, pivoting to the agent, what's really fascinating is that we've definitely seen there's still a need, and like I said, it was kind of validating that even like I said, we accelerated our timeline based on some of the potential impacts, but we always kind of said in theory there's still a need for a direct agent solution. And we're hearing that, and whether it's the conversations or people directly signing up for the platform in the first 2 weeks, or conversations like we literally sat on a call with the carrier to basically help get their participation in this platform. And there was a former agent on the team, and the lady who said to us, she's like, "You guys are offering this solution?" We're like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh my God, like if I was an agent, I definitely want this." And the next question was, "Well, how much you guys are charging?" We said, "Well, right." And this is, a few months ago before I'd finalized things. We said like, "Oh, $100 a month." She's like, "This is a no-brainer." So I think there's definitely a market need. Is it everybody's solution? Does it match the price point for everybody? No, but I think, what's out there and knowing that there's these things that the agents want and desire, it's kind of been validating that even without some of the rule kind of not going as aggressive, and thankfully that it didn't, that there's still adoption and there's still interest in the solution.
What do you think, Andrew? I think I know the answer, and I think you maybe touched on it at the top, but like, what do you think is the driver what do you think is the driver for those agents saying, yeah, it's easily worth that expense? Like where are they gaining efficiency or effectiveness as a result of purchasing a solution like this?
Yeah, I'll let maybe Jason add on this, but I think, not that there's not a cost, and I don't want to diminish that, but like, you think about the costs that we're asking, $100 a month. I mean, that's basically 2 MA enrollments that you're driving. So I think just that ecosystem of, we're connecting to a CRM like Agency Block and having that connectivity. I mean, if you can imagine just not having to rekey all that data between two systems, I think, when we met with even some of the people at Agency Block's user conference in April, before we kind of really greenlit the project, there was a number of people that came up to you as we were kind of floating out the idea, and they were doing the math in their head. It was a lot of it was about just the efficiencies and what they can gain from, and then even just the accuracy of what they can have all in one platform.
Yeah, absolutely. Having one place to log in and have as many of their carriers as possible. This AEP is going to be a very, very busy one with, some of the impacts of the Inflation Reduction Act. We hear as many as 70-80% of beneficiaries are going to need to shop their plan. So any way that we can increase efficiencies at all, and having just one login and one access to a platform, and then also being able to sync up their data in their CRM, as much time savings opportunities as there are out there to be had, I think it's going to be more critical than ever for agents to take advantage of those.
Yeah, makes complete sense. I can't imagine logging into 3, 4, 10 different solutions based on which carrier, that we're trying to write, that I'm trying to write the business for. It just seems, it seems excessive. One of the things I did notice, and this sort of ties into the question Tim asked around CMS, like, I don't know if it was tied to that, but it felt like, attending Medicarians and just seeing what was going on in the industry, I've heard of some other, similar offerings to PC Edge for agents that are coming to market that are touted as free. And there's a saying about free, right? It's never really free. Like there's always some sort of a catch, but like, I'm curious, like what do you guys feel differentiates the PC Edge for agents solution from the other quote free solutions in the market?
Yeah, a couple of things. I mean, I think, and the teams have been very hard at work in expanding the network of carriers that are participating in the platform. We've got access to over 160 carriers to view in the platform already, which is pretty incredible. You mentioned free. It's built on a platform that many agents have been using, whether it be through uplines or through the carriers, for many years now. So there's a comfortability level of being able to use that same trusted technology. We do consider ourselves to be the trusted source for all things Medicare. Our marketing team will like that plug. But it's the accuracy of the drug pricing. We consider ourselves to have the gold standard in drug pricing. And then, just knowing and having a comfort level that we are truly strictly a technology provider. We are not an agency, not accessing or reaching out to clients or anything like that are being put in there. So it's just a matter of that trust level with us having been in the industry for as long as we have and using the familiar platform, I would say.
All right. So as we kind of near the end here, really, again, great to have you guys on and learn more about the product. And, Jason, one of the things you definitely hit upon, and Andrew as well, is this is really meant to make agents' lives better, right? So they don't have to go to several different log in several different times, et cetera. This should be a huge time saver, especially for those that are obviously using multiple uplines to meet the needs of their beneficiaries. So with that being said, how can agents interested in the product learn more about it, get more information, and sign up for the solution?
Yeah, absolutely. So we a couple different ways, on our website, ConnectureDRX, there's a whole section dedicated to the PlanCompare Edge for Agent platform where you can learn more about the carriers that are participating, making sure that aligns with the carriers that the agents would need to have on the platform for it to be a viable solution. Right. We have a shared email inbox that's pcedgedirect@connecture.com that agents can reach out directly or submit a contact us form there on our website. And, the team would be more than happy to schedule time to discuss the platform with any individuals that want to learn more.
Great. And Cory, I guess it may be cart before the horse here, but Jason, appreciate that. When is this actually going live and going to be available?
Yeah, so it's available now for agents to start to subscribe.
Okay.
They can go and create their profile, enter in their national producer number, which is how we'll be able to validate the carriers that they're certified and licensed to sell that are participating. But the goal is, right, for this to be a plan year 2025 platform. So we've got a little bit of time here to go and start passing in those profiles, get all the information updated in the Connecture platform before we start being able to actually review 2025 plan options on 10/1 and ultimately enroll for 1/1 effectives on 10/15.
Awesome. Well, look, I'll say it again. I know spent some time together at various conferences and various meeting rooms, but really appreciate you guys coming on the podcast, sharing your insights, your thoughts. Excited to bring this, joint integration, this joint solution to market with you guys, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing each other very soon in person, and I look forward to that. Cory, at some point, maybe on the next one, we're going to have to sync up on the latest related to our grilling updates. It's been too long, and we'll have to catch up on that. So with that being said, thanks again for tuning in to another edition of the Insurtech Building Blocks, and we'll catch you all soon. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Thanks for having us.